Alright, what's going on? Y'all and Jay here, and of course, we're actually gonna get into a little bit of pro wrestling. I know I haven't been doing that as much. In fact, you've seen more Broncos stuff. Oddly enough, I haven't done as much other sports stuff outside of Broncos talk, which maybe that changes here. We'll see. I'll try to get that going before we get into the afternoon time. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things real quick, namely this man Gunther. I mean, what more can you say? Do you get better heel heat than what he was getting last night on Raw? I mean, after, of course, successfully retiring the Never Seen 17 John Cena at Saturday night's main event out in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, it was actually it's actually really interesting because I'm not gonna act like I'm one of those types of people that was really all that high on it being Gunther, especially winning the um, my time is or the last time is now tournament. I really would have liked it better had it been maybe. I was certainly thinking about Carmelo Hayes, especially with the way he debuted on NXT against Adam Cole at the time. And he came through similar to John Cena in the way that John Cena made his debut. And of course, Adam Cole at that time said, and I'm simply paraphrasing, of course, what makes you think actually you actually belong here out here with someone like me? And of course, he just said the two words ruthless aggression, and of course Adam Cole would go on to be like, who are you, John Cena or something? He's like, no, I'm Carmelo Hayes, but definitely bringing the same energy, so to speak. So just on that particular note, it would have been cooler to see that, but I actually do understand the reasoning behind why it is Gunther, as he had already retired. um, was it Goldberg back in the late summer, I believe it was. Yeah, it was like July, if I recall correctly. And it seems as though he's on pace to possibly retire, perhaps even AJ Styles. But the biggest name, most notably, that seems to be on the docket is Brock Lesnar, as SummerSlam in 2026 is going to be in Minneapolis on, I believe it's the second and third. Well, either way, that first weekend of August is going to be SummerSlam, of course, and both nights will be culminating in Minneapolis, I believe, at that new Metrodome. I'm not sure what they. I think it's U.S. Bank Stadium or something like that. But regardless, one way or another, I honestly am inclined to believe that this might actually turn out pretty well. And with the way that they were booing this man last night, how can you possibly go wrong? I mean, and especially when you can go as far as calling Cena a little bitch, but that's neither here nor there. Speaking of Cena, again, a lot of people aren't very high on the fact that it ended the way that it did in terms of the retirement tour. And truthfully, a lot of people have been really frowning on the retirement tour itself, which is understandable. I mean, even for the fact that Cena himself has been on record saying he wanted to do like 220 dates or something like that, I think it was the number, but they only wanted 56, which is really, really interesting because I figured there would have been more of a happy medium somewhere in that 100 date mark. I don't know, but it's working out the way that it does. I think there was a lot more that you could do, especially with certain superstars like a Carmelo Hayes. Hell, like even a guy that we're going to talk about here in the main topic. And, there were just a plethora of individuals that would have been really good to get that old John Cena rub. But in that same vein, it all worked out in the way that it did. Whether or not it was supposed to be the way that it did, it ended up working out, and it is what it is. I'm not going to say that I'm necessarily the happiest, especially when you compare his final run to that of Sting in AEW, to whereas with Sting in WWE, that wasn't so much the case. But at least here, there's actually something of a benefit that's going to come from everything that transpired this past Saturday night and even last night to a certain degree, uh, especially with the way that Gunther was treated, being met in the back as he left the arena by various superstars who were obviously disgusted with him. And, I'm going to give WWE the benefit of the doubt here. I feel like they've definitely caught an awful lot of shit. Much of it actually very much deserved. Vast majority of it, in my personal opinion. Especially just given actual disappointment with even the Triple H era, which a lot of people have been very, very vocal about, especially on Twitter. But, however you may or may not feel about that shit, that's something I leave entirely up to you. And yeah, I got nothing else for that shit. But either way, I think that if nothing else, especially given that there was a supposedly sad atmosphere in the building at the time, I just appreciate what we got from John Cena, and he's moving on to the next stage of his life. And along with being an ambassador for WWE, he's gonna pretty much be full-time Hollywood now. So it's not like he's going away, just not going to be with WWE, or at least not in-ring wise. That being said, we're going to move along to someone who actually has a bit of familiarity with John Cena, and that would be the newly revealed Masked Man in Austin Theory. Now, this one's really interesting. I think that ever since he first appeared as the Masked Man back at War Games and actually led to Braun Breaker getting the pin over CM Punk, hence their Netflix anniversary match on January 5th. I'm going to first and foremost point out the fact that a lot of people are anticipating Braun Breaker to win. I'm going to say he doesn't, at least not on January 5th. I have my reasons for that, which I'll probably talk about here in another video. May drop it today, probably tomorrow if anything, but look forward to that if nothing else. But for me personally, this one's really, really interesting, especially with the things that I've heard, given that there could be more masked men, so on and so forth. I don't know anything about that. I personally don't even care. I just want this situation right here in specific, whether he winds up actually joining the Vision or not, I want this to be meaningful for him. Because we got to be perfectly honest of what we've really gotten when it comes to Austin Theory in the WWE. Of course, he has been in and out of multiple storylines, be it on main roster or even NXT. And a lot of things didn't really start sticking until I'm feeling like it was his second run in NXT after he had gotten sent back after whatever they were trying to do during the pandemic era with the then Messiah Seth Rollins. But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of odd that everything worked out the way that it did at the time. He went on to doing a lot of different things, ultimately joined the Way, of course, wound up leaving the Way to go back to the main roster, and has just been pretty much a part of a lot of forgettable things ever since. I mean, won Money in the Bank, had a failed cash-in for the United States Championship, and possibly even more failed tag team run with Grayson Waller, who's now a part of the New Day. I mean, one way or another, whatever happens with Austin Theory from all of this, it just really needs to be a complete 180 from everything else that we've gotten. Because if we're being entirely honest, this is a can't miss prospect who actually should be in that same category with the Braun Breakers, the Gunthers, and really all the other big young stars in WWE right now. And what has been going on to this point just really has been inexcusable. So hopefully there's going to be some change in that along the way. But let me know what y'all think about it down below. Do you see big things for Austin Theory? Is this going to be much of the same? And what do you think about everything surrounding Gunther and Cena? Y'all know what it is. Drop all that down below. And of course, if you enjoy the content, like, share, subscribe. And of course, this has been your time with A&J, and I appreciate you spending it with me.